Recording has been started. Once again, as we always do, our quick disclaimer that this call is being recorded and we will place our recording on our YouTube channel. And if you're not comfortable with it, you can drop off now. Also, this call is joined by our Microsoft team member as well as our customers and partners. Okay, so with that, happy Friday, and I'm sure everybody is ready to go take some time off for Labor Day. So our topic of today's discussion is Azure Front Door Standard and Premium Preview. We're going to talk about it. We had this topic slated a couple of weeks ago, but I'm sorry, I had some technical issues that I was dealing with, and that's why we ended up postponing it to now. And I will really appreciate if everybody kind of unmute their phone if they're not asking any questions. Thank you. So, as we always do, a quick heads up on or kind of a level set on the topic itself. What is Azure Front Door? Azure Front Door is a Azure service which takes advantage of our global edge network to help create our customers scalable, reliable, and fast web applications. So it's a application level service. It's targeted towards um, web application. So the goal is um, how we can provide a delivery tier, a secure, fast, a delivery tier can cache static content, all of the above, which um, can help our customer deliver content faster, deliver web content faster. And let me talk a few minutes about. Um, so it's a global load balancer. So let me take a few minutes about what are different load balancing options there are, and just keep in mind that this is not we have covered this in a different session. There is a link there. You can take a look at it. What are different options available? So first of all, this is the option available if you are doing global load balancing and you want SSL offloading, you want kind of a rules at layer 7. That's what you need to use. What I mean by that, Azure Front Door. If you want to do DNS based load balancing, Traffic Manager is your service that you need to target. If you are looking at a service that you can use to load balance endpoint within a region, application gateway. If you are doing at the application layer, then use application gateway. If you are doing network load balancing, then Azure Load Balancer is the way to go. Okay. So just, I don't want to spend too much time on it. So as we said, this is a global service. So this is not region specific. You can, a region can go down, but this service stays up because it's not region specific. Microsoft services, internal services are taking advantage of it. This, as you may know, when it was initially announced, it was kind of a service that we use internally and then made it available for our external customer. So, what is dynamic app acceleration? Before I talk about it, let's take a step back. Let's talk about um, what happens when you have a web application that you kind of host in a website and somebody access it. So there are your web application tier. You have your front end, which can be Node.js, ASP.NET Core, or whatever that it may be. Then you have middle tier. So these are your tiers. Middle tier can be any like Kubernetes, and your backend can be any database, all that. So that is living on that server. Then your web application, which is running actually in the user browser. There is this layer between the browser and the server where your web app is hosted. That's the delivery tier. that the Azure Front Door is actually making that delivery tier. That's making it faster, making it secure, provide you to the ability to control the kind of a faster, secure, and reliable delivery tier. That's what it does. So how it does it fast or how it provide app acceleration, I always think of this example. Like let's say if you want to go from like Dallas DFW to Seattle, okay, it will take you, if you just drive, it will take you 30 plus hours, depending on what route you take. But on the other hand, if you take a Uber from your home to the airport and hop on a plane, it may like drive to the Dallas airport and from there you fly. It will take approximately 7, 8 hours, give or take. So that's what these app acceleration platform like Front Door do. So if let's say that your web app is hosted in East US too, okay, somebody in the South, let's say in Austin or Houston, is trying to access that web application from their mobile phone. The cell coverage, depending on where they are, may be good or bad. If there's no front door, they will click on the website. It will take them through the cellular provider's network, then over the internet, and then you're at the mercy of the internet how it routes your traffic. Okay. Now let's bring in front door into picture. Once you hit the website, it will, and it's hosted it using front door um, as the delivery tier. What will happen is that as soon as you hit the website, it will take you to the closest edge location, which is basically Microsoft Edge location. There are hundreds of edge locations around the globe. And then you will hop on to the Microsoft network, which is high speed. This is like going on a kind of a two-way street to a freeway. So that's where you go. And then it will route your traffic to the fastest possible route to your web application. So that's how to the website. So that's how it makes the content delivery, makes the kind of a app faster. Second thing is it has the ability to cache content. I mean, you will see in the demo how easy it is. Just checkbox to cache the content. So static content can be cached. You can do SSL offloading. So you can set up your SSL cert at the front door level and leave. And basically, that's the handshake happens at the front door, at the edge level, and your that kind of enhanced performance because you're not doing double SSL at the back end. So that's something else that kind of really helps in making the application faster. So with that, and by the way, this service is in GA, but we are talking about these two new SKUs that are coming, which are standard and premium, and they are currently in public preview. So what they're doing with these SKUs is they are combining Azure CDN and Web Application Firewall as a first-class citizen as a part of the front door offering. So they are basically both standard and premium have those capabilities baked in as a monolithic application and as a part of the service itself. And if you look at the um, features of standard and premium, you will see that premium has more security feature. It's not that standard has like less security. It's this, I mean, both are secure, but the premium is targeted towards organization which have certain kind of a requirement for compliance and security they have to meet where they can take advantage of the the feature set that is available as a part of the premium SKU. So any questions? Okay, so let's continue to uh, move on. Go here. Okay, so this is kind of a quick summary of standard and premium SKU. And just keep in mind, they're currently in public preview. So if you go into kind of a creating a front door, you will see Azure Front Door, which is GA, and then you will see Azure Front Door Standard and Premium SKU, which are in public preview. Okay, so just keep in mind that um, you will have to use that preview at the moment if you wanna play with this stuff. Okay, so I would like to go towards a quick demo. We will see how you can create these SKUs, what are some of the things that they can do, and then we will talk about some of the feature which are kind of make these SKU really, really um, kind of important if you are planning to host your web applications and in Azure. Okay, so let's go here. Okay, let me just minimize that. Okay, so first of all, if we go in here, okay, let's open another tab. So we go in here and we can go into standard and premium. As you can see, these are different front door premium and standard that I have created. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to create a new one. So first of all, it will ask you to select. You can choose by what SKU you are planning to deliver. So it will allow you to pick what SKU you're using, and it will pick the appropriate SKU for you. Or you can just say, hey, I want to do front door standard and premium. You can do a quick create, and it will create with the most common options that you have. We are going to do a custom create so we can see what options they are available. And by the way, and then we will go from there. So let's go in here. The usual stuff. We have to provide the resource group, and here we're going to provide. Okay, and we are going to go with um, security optimized. So first of all is secrets. So now it can get those secrets from KV. If you want to use a key vault, what you will have to do is you will have to, um, give the key vault access. And what it will do is it will add add access to the front door for the front door into the key vault. So it can read the certificates from key vault. So these are the certificates that you will be using for TLS and things like that. Okay. So now the next thing is endpoints, and that's the main thing. So let's call it E. Just name it. So first of all, this is your domain. That's how you will access your endpoint. Most probably you're going to use a custom domain name. So this domain name is just kind of a temporary domain name that is there. Okay. The next thing is origin group. So it called backends the origin group. Just if you remember in the load balancer, there's a backend pool. Here it's an origin pool. So here you will add or origin group, not pool. So we're gonna name it um, origins. Okay, so these are the origin. Add an origin. I can name it app1. And origin type can be anything. You can have a storage account, cloud service, app service, application gateway, traffic, public IP address, or a custom. Custom is you have a website hosted somewhere that you want to put Azure front end in front of it. Okay. In this case, I'm just using app service. So I'm just going to say, hey, use this app service. Um, and we can go from there. Um, and this is the HTTP port, priority, wait. Okay, so just keep that in mind that with priority and wait, what will happen is that if you have two origins declared and one has a lower priority, it's going to go to the one that has, I mean, like one is higher than two. So it will go to the priority one. Otherwise, it will go to two. And weight is kind of that's how you decide how many requests are going to one or the other. If one has like both have the same weight, but one has both have the same priority, but one has four weight, the other has eight, then the request will be distributed by four and eight. That's all. Okay, this one is very important. Um, this is the enable private link service. Okay, so if I enabled it, then what it will do is it will uh, basically uh, access this endpoint over a private IP. And this is kind of very important. I know that this website that I have created is not using a premium plan, so that's why it's saying resources not supported. But otherwise, if I pick a website, let's pick a website here, which is I know that we have supported FD. Yes, think I think this is the one. I haven't- Yeah. So as it is supported, as you can see, it's gonna create a private endpoint. So think of it with if remember about Azure Front Door, which is currently GA, can only have origins which are publicly accessible. If there's an origin which is private, it cannot be accessed by Azure Front Door. But in this case, what you can have is you can have a web app, but it will be accessed over a private endpoint from the front door. I know you can put headers and you can put a firewall rules in your services so that to make sure that they accept traffic, only traffic coming from front door, but this takes to a next level. At the moment, your web app will not accept any traffic. It will not be accessible over public domain. The only traffic that it will accept is coming from Azure Front Door. So just keep that in mind. That's a very powerful feature and by the way, this is only available in the premium SKU, which is in currently in public preview. Okay, so with that, I mean, you can add multiple origins here, and let's say, I mean, we can add an origin, we can say add, that's that, and then routes. So this, let's call it just routes. So what that will do is this is like, okay, this is my domain and this is the path to match. And then you can set those things up and you can create rules. Basically, oh, first of all, let's not skip caching. You can enable caching and you can set different behaviors through caching. I mean, use query strings to kind of or ignore query string, whatever appropriate for you. If your web app supports compression, once again, this is another checkbox. You can just check it, and then that will help you there. Rules you cannot create while you're creating the Azure Front Door. Once it's created, you can go in and you can create rules. And those rules are, do you want to modify a header or based on certain origin, things like that. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. And now you're handling this at the edge level. You're not handling in your web app. And let's say if you have multiple origin, three, four, five sites and spread across around the globe. You don't have to make those changes to all those sites. You're making it at the front door, only one site. And also you can do, I mean, you can make it a part of your DevOps process as well, where you apply these changes through your DevOps process, where you deploy your site, do all that health testing, and then apply the changes at the front door. You have only one place to apply those changes. Any questions? Man, time is running fast. Okay. And finally, we have the security, which is web firewall, web application firewall integration. You can go in here, you can pick a policy, and you can apply it to a domain. So this is, once again, as you know, with web application firewall policy or WAF policy is a Azure object. You go in, you create it, and then I have already created it, so you can apply it. With that, you can do a review and create. Please keep in mind, it takes 5-10 minutes for all these rules to spread out, things like that. So just be patient, and it will take 5-10 minutes before your site is kind of fully functional. So with that, let's go back into one of the front doors that we already have created. So basically, I just showed you the creation experience. This is the front door that I already have. And as you can see, I have two endpoints that are running. Let's go to the endpoint manager. And these are the two endpoints. One endpoint, I am accessing the public origins. So in this one, if we go in here, both the origins, these are public website. If I click on this, so for example, this is the website. If these are public website, they are publicly accessible. Yes, I have put header rules and firewall rules to make sure that those accept traffic only from the front door, but those are public site. As you can see here, there is no private endpoint. But let's go to the other one. Let's go here and let's look at this one. As you can see, private link service is enabled and it is connected through a private endpoint. Okay, so that's kind of making it really, really simple. So at that moment, there are no firewall rules needed in that web app. Basically, because it's not open to public, the only access is from Azure Front Door through a private IP address. Okay, so that's that. Any questions on that? Okay, so let's look at security. So I have, as I said, I have created a web application firewall rule. And of course, I mean, they have custom managed rules which are there to allow good bots, block bad bots, things like that, bad actors from damaging your or hurting your website. And I have a custom rule as well. Okay, so this is the rule that I have. As you know, and since it's very easy, since it's a part of the Azure Front Door service, you can easily kind of apply that rule. So as you can see here, in number of cases, we have certain web application which are only or kind of used in a certain region or not allowed to use in other regions. So for example, here, I am kind of taking advantage of this website that I have, and I'm saying that this is accessible everywhere except United Kingdom. Okay, so that's how I'm blocking the rule. So first, let's kind of do a quick test. Let me just Okay, so let's minimize that. Let me go to that particular website. So if I open this website here, okay, so this is basically it's picking up the East US region through Front Door. It's a private website, and this is, by the way, this is of course running in US. And let me go to this VM. This is a Linux VM that I'm running in UK. Okay, it's running in I think UK East region, and I'm trying to do a curl. I'm trying to access the same site, okay, that I try to access from US. So sorry, let me just show you this one as well. Let's go in here and open this tab. Once again, this site is alive and well in US. As you can see, it's working. But as we go into UK, if I try to do a curl, it gives, hopefully you guys can see it. This is the error that I'm getting. The request is blocked. Basically, I have this rule set there that if the requester is coming from UK, block it. That's what we are doing. Very simple. Just keep in mind that if you apply these, create these rules, they take a few minutes to take into effect. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So that's that. And one thing to keep in mind, and one very critical detail about front door, since it is sitting in front of all of your different website instance or what it called origins, it has first-hand knowledge of who is trying to access your website. So if what you can do is you can connect it to log analytics, it can put all that information, store all that information about who tried to contact you, what address, all of that into log analytics. Sometimes it's not possible for application to log that information because they're under heavy load and they miss some information. But with front door, now all of that information is whatever that information is coming is now, I mean, it can see that information, it can log it, and can provide you information about your audience who are trying to access you. And kind of taking that responsibility away from your app. So, and you can not only do kind of, rate limiting at this layer, so your application doesn't have to take unnecessary load and things like that, or they don't kind of crumble under pressure. Any questions? We have 2 more minutes. So quickly, I just want to show one more thing here, which is rule set. Okay, so this is the rule set. We don't have I don't have a rule set. I can go in here. And by the way, this is not a WAF rule set. This is basically a rule set which regards to how you route your application. So basically, you can inject headers. You can go in here and you can add a condition. You can say if the remote address IP match, and you can add a value, and then you can add an action. You can say expire cache. You can say that URL redirect or URL rewrite. All of these things that you can do here, you can kind of all of these rules that you build. And once again, you are not building it for each of your app instance, web app instance. You're doing it at a centralized location. They're applied to all across the globe. Okay. Just yeah, we're right on time. In the links, I have a case study, just public case study. It is about how LinkedIn took advantage of Azure Front Door. So take a look. And once again, I know we are right on time. Any questions, comments, feedback? Okay. Um, I hope everybody had a wonderful, have a wonderful Labor Day weekend, and hope to see everyone next week for another session of Azure Power Lunch. Good day, folks.
Agreed. Good demo.